What's up, guys? It is Paul, the MMA Shark, a couple days away from UFC 281, but I'm happy to be joined right now by someone I talk about all the time, someone that so many of my subscribers are familiar with, none other than Ryan Meehan, owner of Me'sMoneyMoves.com. What is up, Ryan?
What's up, Paul? It's a pleasure to be here, man. I love everything you do.
Absolutely. Likewise.
For those of you guys that don't know me, like Paul said, Ryan Meehan, owner of Me's Money Moves, co-host of the Bush and Me Show. Just a little background on me, how I got into this business. Started in Wall Street, actually, for 10 years. Was up in New York for 5 of those years. It was a good life. Had fun up there. Always been an avid sports bettor. And when I was up there, I started kind of handicapping, finding more trends, using numbers and analytics and stuff like that. And also just talking to some traders that didn't really know sports that would just bet all the time. And you would learn from mistakes that were made, right?
Yeah.
So, which is a lot of how I learned all my stuff as well.
Yeah, you lose to get there.
Exactly. So through that whole process, it was about like 2014, 2015, was part of a big layoff, transitioned back to Maryland, started a podcast with a good friend of mine, Jermon Bushrod, and we were giving out picks, analyzing games. We were traveling. This was pre-COVID. It was a lot of fun. And through those picks, I had a segment on there called Me's Money Moves. And the podcast went on hiatus for a year. He got a job coaching with the Saints. And that's when I started this business, 2020. And just started giving out picks. And it's been going great ever since. As you know.
Oh, no doubt.
As you know, through your giving out your picks, you know, you learn things along the way too. We have systems and there's moving parts and you're changing every day to get better.
Yeah. And there's no doubt, like doing what we do, it almost had to be in beta, like on my end and your end, it sounds like, before it went public. And, you know, I had the background in the industry of sports gambling. I loved to bet in high school when it was call your bookie and place a 5 times. Like, you're the man. I got 5 times on the under tonight. And then you owe them $27.50 because it flies over. But, you know, that was all fun and games in high school and college. And I got into the mixed martial arts promoting and promoted the most successful promotion in Pennsylvania. And that was staggered by COVID. But as I was doing that, I was analyzing UFC fights and making a freaking killing off of betting UFC. So I gradually started posting on the internet a little more and a little more. As I'm doing that, you're doing the same thing. And we come across each other at GavinAnthonySports.com in Barstool and then into Gavin's own page. So, you know, forever grateful for Gavin, the GOAT, Gavin Anthony Sports.
Absolutely. And just a shout out to Gavin, who created the platform that we met on. If you guys aren't subscribed to Gavin, you need to be. I mean, he's the best value in the system. And I don't say that about other cappers. Give props out like that. But Gavin is the best bang for the buck out there. I mean, $20. If you can't afford Gavin's subscription, you shouldn't be gambling anyway. So make sure you guys check him out, GavinAnthonySports.com.
I mean, you know, just this year, I think he's up 48 units. I mean, you know,
don't use that word with Gavin.
Oh yeah, no, Gavin's not up units, but Gavin's up. All that matters. I think he's high 60 percentages. I mean, you know, for $20 a month, GavinAnthonySports.com. He's got your answer. You know, you're a little bit of a bigger bettor. You'd like maybe placing some bigger bets. I think me and you are the answer to that. And even with our systems, Ryan, you know, you don't need to bet a lot to make a lot because the transparency and the consistency has been there. I've been following your place since last December. You've been following mine. And, you know, we've been making each other a lot of money on sports that we weren't really making money on prior.
It's funny. I tell people I never really got into UFC at all before I met you. And you're like, just trust me. Like, I got these plays. So I started following you a little bit, just bet your big ones at first. And then just the experience that you create. Just if you guys aren't, I mean, hopefully if you're watching this, you subscribe to the MMA Shark. But if not, the experience that he creates on a Saturday, it's just play by play. You get to run down, you get to cheer with the guys. Like you say, Saturday nights are for the boys.
Saturday nights are for the boys. And, you know, to those that have been with me long enough, you know, they're in the OG chat. And dude, sometimes it's like what happens in the OG chat stays in the OG chat. Let's face it, Saturday nights get pretty wild.
Absolutely.
They have, and you know, not all Saturday nights are going to be that huge profit night. I faced a lot of adversity August 20th this year, and it's something a capper otherwise would hide, but I'm not hiding it. August 20th, I couldn't hit the broadside of a barn, the Edwards Usman card, and I used that to get better, and it's really worked out since. I've had one losing night since. So, we need to face adversity to get stronger. And, I think both of us have systems that, you're not buying picks off me. You're subscribing to a system that is pretty much bulletproof in the long run.
The one misconception I'll always say, if you're watching the show, chances are you're a sports bettor, an avid sports bettor. So the one misconception I say in our industry is that people that say they don't like to buy picks end up buying picks when they need an instant winner, right? They're chasing and they need that one winner, and you come and you buy a pick and it doesn't win, and you're like, what the hell? Yeah. I thought this was supposed to work. That's not how this works.
Paid Paul, and Paul's not paid.
That's not how it works in this industry, right? We both have proven systems that, yeah, we might lose a day here. We might lose a week. I mean, since August 1st, I've had 12 of 14 winning weeks. That means I've had 2 losing weeks, though. So there's times where people sign up for that week and they're like, what the hell? I thought you were good. And they had a losing week. The thing about my system, I know, and what I've seen from yours as well, follow the system long term, and you have long term profitability. This isn't a short race that we're in this for. This is extra income. This is your side job if you're investing in sports and following the MMA Shark or Me's Money's Moves.
Yeah, no, you couldn't have said it better. I had like 12 people sign up on August 20th. And, at the end of that night, I was like, oh my God, I went 3-10, it happens. First time in 7 years it happened to me, but it happened. So I reached out to all of them and offered them a free month, and they all stayed, and they're all still here. A couple left, and they were likely the ones looking to make a quick buck and bounce, and, fair play to them. But, I'll take all subscribers. I'll never turn down business, but my typical client is someone that wants to make money long-term and consistently.
Long-term profitability. That's what I always say.
So, yeah, I mean, that was my cold spell. August was kind of tough in general. I think we were only down like 6 units into the 20th. And, that was just a dagger card. It was a killer. Leon Edwards was getting pummeled for 4.5 rounds. And in MMA, anything can change at any second, and it changed. But, you fight back, and that's what we did. And the losses from that night were erased plus a lot, I should say. So you really haven't watched a whole lot of UFC, but you just take my major plays. What were you thinking last Saturday at 7 p.m. when I texted you and said you need to hammer Neil Magny right now?
Half the names you send me, I don't even know how to pronounce. Did
you bet him?
I'm looking, of course. Anytime you send me a play that I need to text, anytime you text me a play that I need to play, I put it in. Sometimes, hopefully, I'm at the casino and I can put a little more on it. But I always play the ones you text me, and I would say almost never let me down.
Yeah, well, 85% of the times the big ones hit. So 85% of the times.
The toughest thing I will say about you that I've seen throughout the whole year that I've been following you is it's impossible to cap injuries in any sport. And I feel like they've come up more so in UFC, especially in a lot of the main events or the bigger cards. Yeah. There's been a lot of injuries, and there's nothing you can do about it.
Nothing you can do about it. There's 2 things I can't cap. One is an injury, which we've had a fluke of them in main events this year. 4 main event injuries on the wrong side of all 4, and judges' robberies. If I handicap a guy like Dustin Jacoby, I put a max play out on Dustin Jacoby, and he dominates the fight and wins the fight. Max play, it wasn't a max play, but a nice looking plus money parlay on Petr Yan, and he dominates the fight and loses by split decision. I just hope my subscribers don't lay that on me, because I did my part. My fighter won. But at the end of the day, it's a loss. Your fighter blows his shoulder out a couple seconds in. It sucks, but I'm willing to take that on the chin and say I lost. So definitely 2 things I can't handicap.
That's tough, because at least, I mean, one of my biggest sports, for those of you guys that don't know me, is tennis. I have a system in tennis that's up over 84.5 units, hits at 62% throughout the year. But if somebody gets hurt in tennis, at least we have a chance for the retirement. Yeah. Sometimes you're rooting for them to retire.
Yeah, like someone
not in your case
getting pummeled in the 3rd set and walk over, and you break even. So I don't have that cushion.
I know that's tough.
There's so many bad beats, but I put out so many plays. You see when like UFC and Bellator go head to head on a Saturday, it's like at the end of the day, I look like that meme with all the numbers running through the head. And um, but I like to stay transparent, and so do you, obviously. But yeah, your football, the way the NFL started off this year in college, but particularly NFL, which is very hard in the beginning. You were hitting over 85% this year in NFL.
Not over. It was 85%. We started the first
Sorry.
through the first 4 weeks, we were 85%. It was a crazy run.
But it's still a run. It's still a crazy run.
Yeah, we're still up over 65% for the year, which is, I mean, a great number to land on.
Oh my God.
After that, 85% though, because college started a little slow. We were still over 60%, but obviously when you're hitting 85 in the NFL, it feels a lot slower. And then college picked up a little when the NFL kind of leveled off. And in October, this was after we had gone on that 85% run. In October, in a 20 game span, we went 18-2, which was 90% up. I had it here somewhere, up 32.8 units. That's the other thing is, too, my system is between 1 and 5 units. I very rarely give out. I've only given out 3 5 units all year, and we're 3-0 on those.
Yeah.
I have given out a bunch of 4 units, but we lie 80% of our plays lie in 2 to 3 units. So
and the last 5 unit was what? I'm trying to remember because I know I had it.
Kansas State, 48.
Oh yeah, yeah. It wasn't even close. Didn't they win like 42-6 or something?
48-0.
48-0. You should have put them out minus 48.5 though. See, there's always a way to criticize someone. There's always a way. And props to you, because one thing that you are much better than me at is staying calm when you're getting trolled. But we don't get trolled a whole lot. But when I get trolled, I seem to lose my cool. And I've gotten better with it, because if it happens mid-card now, I just totally brush it off. But you seem to be a lot calmer than I am under that duress.
Well, I mean, I've been on that side of it too, right? Where I've taken a play that I've seen online and it loses and you get mad at the guy, but you're the one that made the decision to bet the money. You have to think about it. So I understand where these guys are coming from. In the middle of losing money, you're going to be angry. When you order pizza to the house and they tell you 30 minutes or less and it's been 45 minutes, you get on that phone and you yell. So I get where they're coming from. I try to understand that. But I'm also losing money too while I'm doing that. So I'm just as frustrated.
Oh yeah, same here. I go down or go up with the team. But there's been so many times where, I'm minus 12, 18 units in the prelims, and there's 8 fights left. Stick with me. Those nights we end up plus 20 units. So I always say, like, the first couple fights have zero implement on what the night's going to be. For you, it's a little different. You're putting out plays every day, like 365 days a year. So I got to imagine that's just as much work. I mean,
it's a lot of work. It's definitely a lot of work. But I can go through a day and give out 2 plays. I can give out 7 plays. It depends on, what the system shows. Whereas if I do have a bad day, there's always tomorrow to bounce back from. Sometimes I feel for you a little bit because Friday or Saturday, if something doesn't go right, you have a whole week to kind of sit on that. And you're giving out tons of plays in a shorter amount of time. So
yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, my wife and kids think I'm nuts when the fights are on. But hey, listen, when they're on, I'm watching for any little thing. The UFC loves to switch judges after they're assigned or change referees. Like, that's my job to get on that stuff and make any adjustments needed. And one thing neither of us do is chase. Chasing's something that you're paying someone for picks will do. But your betting systems with us, and I'm up on your plays, you're up on my plays, and all of our subscribers are up. Anyone that's been with us long term is undoubtedly up. We had this conversation at the end of February where I just smashed February. Like, it was like a 94% month, and I actually lied in February, and you're the only one I talked to about this. I had to lie and say it was only up 93 units in February. Do you remember this?
I remember, because you didn't want to. They're like, these numbers look so fake.
I know. I was up 106 units in February, and I'm like, I'm just lowering it. I'm putting it at 93 because I don't want someone new to sign up in March and say, well, he won 106 units last month. He's got to be good for it. So again, It's a long-term thing. But yeah, a handicapper that has to lie about the results by lowering it. There's a certain clown we know that says they're up 1,400 units this year that is likely down 700 units this year. So Full
It's
transparency.
a shady industry we're in, which makes it harder for
There
us
is. There's
with the job we do. But
there's
I
so
said,
many people that you got to pick the right ones, and I'm glad that we both have established business with established some of the we share a lot of the same subscribers, and I think we have the best subscribers in the world. Like they're genuinely such great people, and they're appreciative.
absolutely, absolutely, it's all about the people. Like you said, we both run content. I mean, we both take care of our customers. We have the
Oh,
best customers. We
absolutely.
both run contests. We try to give back to the people. It's not just about giving out picks, right? We're trying to all win money together. We're trying to give you guys a chance to win contests, like give out free stuff. Like if I get
All the
anything
time.
free, if I got this for free, I'll give it out to somebody.
That
Like it's
should
all
be
about.
free. It's got the Ravens on it.
You guys won on a lucky comeback fourth quarter game.
But we won. Even though there was an injury or a robbery, we won.
Hey, that's the other thing. If you join my team, I'm not a homer. I've gone against them, but we
Yeah.
lost two games in a row, but we went against them.
Hey, listen, a UFC fighter that everyone knows I'm very, very close with was in the co-main event in London. I went against him. He lost. I won. He found out about it and hasn't talked to me since. So,
Ooh,
business is business, though. If there's,
absolutely,
I got a guy on the Orlando card. If I'm not feeling him on the edge, I'm going against him. It's strictly business. So you can't do this with your
absolutely,
heart. I see you went against the Ravens many times this year and cashed on it. So, can't do anything with your heart. Aljamain Sterling is very close to me. I'm very good friends with him. And I've had him in all these fights on this tear that he's on, but it's because I thought he was going to win the fight,
right?
so it's never with the heart.
Absolutely, yeah. I like. That's the one thing I think why we clicked so well when we first started talking, which it was all about taking care of the people first, and through that you're gonna grow your business. You're going to grow your profitability, which is how you retain a customer base. Anyway, it's not even like a customer base to us; it's almost like a family.
It is. Oh my
We
God.
have our group
Yeah.
chats and we take care of them.
It's like I know when this guy's getting married, or when this guy
Absolutely,
retires, and sadly when one has a death in the family. I mean, it's truly getting to know them on that level, and people we talk to every day. So, and the subscribers to the MMA Shark that aren't in the OG chat yet, you'll get the invite eventually. The quality subscribers, I never mind getting them at it and welcoming them to that family. But I'm running a promo right now that ends on Saturday. The MMAshark.com. I'm doing 50% off your first month. So,
ooh,
yeah, Black Friday starts now.
there you go.
When the first punch lands on Saturday, I'm pulling the plug on that promo, and won't be doing anything else, because at the end of the day, it's not cheap to run a business. I mean, there's a lot of overhead that goes behind this. So
That's a steal. And if any of you guys are on the fence about the MMA Shark, I'm so confident you'll make money. Message me and I'll take care of your first month so you can join the team.
oh, Jesus. Well, with the money I make off Me's Money Moves picks every month, it's never a worry there. So how's tonight looking? I didn't really get a peek yet. Did
We got a peek to the left while you were talking a little bit.
another Amazon barn burner? Or?
Carolina just scored a touchdown, 10-0. We got Carolina as a 4 unit
Yeah, you
tonight.
got Carolina tonight. 4 units, right?
Yes, sir. We loved them.
Right. Well, this won't be posted tonight, so no one's getting a free pick off it. And they're probably minus 650 now, so the value's gone. But I love that we just got the chance to link up here. Maybe we could do this like monthly and kind of recap and chat about what's going on, and full transparency between the two of us. You're the only other handicapper outside of Gavin that I do endorse. There's also a lot of we've got some followers that post plays out, and they're pretty good at it. A few just start it and they're good at it. But, I mean, we're talking full business, GavinAnthonySports.com, Me'sMoneyMoves.com. That's where I go for non-MMA picks. And, that's absolutely where you should go too. And like my system, your plays get texted out, which makes it extremely easy to access the plays.
Absolutely. All our picks get texted out. So you'll know every time we post a pick. If you guys are hesitant, I know there's a lot of shady people in this industry. I'm not going at anybody. I'm just stating facts.
I kind of want to go with someone, but I'm not going to.
I thought you would. Message me on Facebook. Reach out to me, and we'll work on something, because it's not about. I'm not in for the quick buck. I'm not here to try to get your $20. We're all going to grow together, and let's do it as a family.
Yeah, man. I feel the same exact way. That's why I'm offering half off a month. Someone signs up with half off their first month, I'm not making a penny off it. but hopefully I'm getting a new client that's going to make money long term with me. And I say, if you were here for August, you've seen the worst of me. First time in 7 years that a card went that way. I'm excited for Saturday. I don't want to get too much in my head that I'm going to crush this card, but I really feel like I'm going to crush this card.
There you go.
I honestly, digging more into it, it's the biggest card of the year. UFC 280 in Abu Dhabi was massive, mainly headlined by Makhachev versus Oliveira. This card, it's got 14 fights, and I think 10 of them are fight of the night candidates. So it's going to be a wild one. You saw the 2 plays I've already got out. I think they're going to go 2-0, and there's a lot more fun coming there. So
I got it.
Any big NFL games this weekend? I didn't really get a chance to look at the schedule. I've been so busy.
Before we get into the NFL, I have to ask this question for the OG chat. A lot of you guys listening out there won't get this, but what time does UFC start on Saturday? 2 o'clock.
2 o'clock, baby. Although, really, though, it's 6, but UFC's at 2.
6 o'clock.
Remember the card I did, and I crushed it for like 43 units, and someone messaged me, what time did the fight start today? I'm like,
Well, one time you were killing it, and I was out, I forget, with the wife or something, and you're like, are you crushing this card with me? And I was like, did UFC start yet? And you're like, oh, you're killing me.
Yeah, so anybody in the OG chat will tell you that UFC starts at 2.
For NFL this weekend, like you were just asking, there's a bunch of great games. I mean, there's only 2 games on the board that are over a touchdown. So it's the first time you got one possession spreads everywhere.
The double digit dogs have been money lately.
Oh yeah. Well, I want to say the first 8 weeks of the season, they weren't.
Okay.
I think it was, I think the favorites were covering that at like 64%.
Oh, okay.
But last week, double-digit dogs were 3-0 if you included Thursday night with Houston.
Yeah, I mean, they almost won outright. Not really, but they could have at some point. Maybe like that much.
They were 3-0 last week.
I've been loving the NFL run that you're on. You're starting to throw some NBA out there, some college basketball coming up now too.
Absolutely. We have an NBA first half algorithm that I kind of backed into. That last year was very profitable.
I remember when we first linked up last year, I hit a bunch of first half overs with you.
Yeah, we had some unders, we had some overs. Yeah, it started 3-1. We lost last night on an under. We had 31 seconds left, and we were
102 and a half or 103. I saw that.
Yeah. So 3-2 to start, still 60%, still profitable.
Either of us are on here saying we never lose. So
right, exactly. Just win more than we lose. For those of you guys that only like to join like situationally too, like we have an NCAA package. Last year my bowl package was crazy. Like I had never picked every bowl game, but I said, you know what? I had people that say they were in office pools and they're like, are you going to pick every game before they signed up? And I'm like, yeah. So there were plays. I mean, I gave out 1 unit plays because there were plays that I just kind of like had to find an angle. I had to dig really deep on that one. But we were 30-11 in the bowl season last year, 73%. Picking every game.
I was a big part of that. And that's how I am. Like Steven was just saying I skipped on a couple UFC fights, busted me a bit. I did. I skipped on 2 UFC fights out of the last 7 cards, but they were fights that just had crazy juice. But I do love to find value. I'll throw out a half unit play if I really don't love the fight, but the guys are hanging out, they're watching the fights, they want some action on it. So my plays will range anywhere from a quarter unit to 7 units. Saturday, I've got 2 that are 10 unit plays.
10 units.
I'm not good about the card. I know I'm gonna break my own rule. And that could change. There's so many variables, but that could change. But as of right now, I have 2 10-unit plays, and I've already released a 7-unit play, which you saw. So going guns blazing for Saturday.
Love it. I'm excited.
Hey, I mean, there's no off season. There's nothing Christmas week or New Year's week, but actually New Year's Eve. Now I've got 3 cards on New Year's Eve to cap. So we're going till the ball drops. We'll get the first week of January off, and then it's 55 weeks in a row of just fists flying.
You have to have a very understanding wife for that. So shout out to your wife. I mean,
when I promoted MMA, she was right next to me handling all ticket sales and make it like this banner, everything. She made everything. So she's a graphic designer with marketing skills. So it works out well. Awesome. Social media skills as well.
There you go.
So when I first started the MMA Shark, you were a huge influence on me. You were a huge help with me. Even getting set up with podcasts, legal advice, a lot of stuff, because, it's not just, I'm going to start a business. So, you and Gavin answered a ton of questions when we went from MMA Payday to the MMA Shark. And, guys, if you're listening to this, a lot of subscribers, a lot of listeners on podcasts, check out meesmoneymoves.com. Reach out to him on Facebook. I'll have his name in the write-up here. As stand-up as it gets. He delivers profits. I see it month after month, week after week, a lot of times day after day. So, I couldn't be happier to have you on the show. And, I love seeing you win because, again, you're a great person and we share so many subscribers. We got to be winning. So
Absolutely. I
and
appreciate everything you've done.
Oh, I appreciate that. And let's just not have a bad week at the same time, because there's
right.
the first week of Wimbledon, the first week of the US Open is when I had the bad USC card. And you started a little rough and then just crushed the tournament. So
yeah, we do lose, like you said, we do lose, but long-term profitability is the key.
Go to the MMAShark.com. We're gonna lose a lot less than we're gonna win.
Right. That's why I always tell people, don't sign up for a day package. You got to sign. I mean, you might hit one when we're there, but you got to sign up for a week. You got to sign up for a month. I promise we're gonna turn that profitability for you. If you guys like free plays too, like I said, I have a podcast out with former NFL two-time Pro Bowler and Super Bowl champion Jermon Bushrod, won the Super Bowl with the Saints. We post our podcast every week. Every Friday morning it comes out on YouTube. Every Sunday we post it to our Facebook page. So there's guys, free plays on
that like button, smash that subscribe button. He's talking about free plays. So
free plays that we each give out 3 free plays a week. And you got insight. I'll give you trends and analytics, and he gives you. We filmed last night. It'll come out Friday morning. He was giving insight to how scouts. I never knew this either. How scouts categorize each player that they're playing against by color. And Bill Parcells started this, and he said blue meant you need to know where that guy is all the effing time on the field. And he was saying Myles Garrett is definitely a blue, is how he was using it last night. But it's cool. I mean, you learn little tidbits like that. He'll tell you about how road trips were, and you get insight to all that behind the scenes stuff. So it's awesome, man. Come check us out. Bush and Me Show.
Yeah, go ahead. Bush and Me Show, smash that like button. Make sure you subscribe to this channel, whether you're on Spotify, Apple Music, Google Podcasts, or YouTube. It's what we offer. It's transparency at its best. It's winning systems. Let's double dip, subscribe to both of us and just start cashing tickets, and don't stop until you have no reason to not.
There we go. Thanks for having me, Paul. I can't wait for Saturday.
All right, let's get it. See ya.
Yeah, see you.